so pretty, crazy pretty. There's been a lot of discussion upon how you should treat a woman based upon her sexual marketplace value. I got a few tips on this, and I'm going to explain this by illustrating something that happened to me. This was during the Craigslist protocols. Well, this happened actually quite a few times. I opened up the email and she's drop dead gorgeous. And I'm like, whoa, yeah, let me. And I was like, don't respond immediately. So I sat there and I thought about it. It isn't because she's pretty. That's not the issue. The issue is how men respond to her because she's pretty. So I knew that if I responded like everyone else, I was going to get pretty much the same results unless she found me extremely attractive. One of the things I did was I refused to send a picture. And part of this was because of racist. I had a lot of people that when they found out I was black, they would delete my ads and stuff. So I started doing blind ads, not because I'm ashamed I'm black. It's just if they can't see my ad, they can't answer it. And this was a big, big problem. So I would put up the blind ad and then they know. So that was one of the first considerations, like, okay, because she was white. So I decided to put her through the paces. I challenged her. I asked very specific questions. And there was a cocky tone. There was a tone of, yes, I'm better than you. And we went on. Then I started getting her to do certain things. And she did them. Then I gave her my address. Now remember, I have not sent a picture. She shows up. And I'm like, this is the moment of truth. I'm going to open up the door and either she's going to come in or she's going to run away. In probably 10 years, I had 2 women that didn't cross the threshold out of a few hundred. So she's like, she just puts her head down. She comes in. I'm behind the door and I was like, take your clothes off. She does that. And I realized something. See, there are many guys here on the internets who say looks matter. I have to be a certain look. I have to have a certain build. I have to have a certain body. This does help. Make no mistake about it. It really helps. But once you begin into that mental macking, you begin into that authoritative macking, because I had to be about 310 back then. I'm 265 now. So yeah, that, God, it was like almost 50 pounds ago, right? Didn't matter. We did what we did. I continued to see her for many months afterwards. When she is pretty, you need to treat her like a person. Not that she's special. You don't need to start doing certain things. You don't need to start bringing up certain things. And this is one of the reasons that I recommend that you meet a woman per day. Because in your travels, you're going to come across some very pretty women. And it's going to shock you that the play that you will get. Some will be like, no, no, no. And they'll avoid you. I was in Chick-fil-A. And it was a stunner. Stunner. I mean, she was nice and she had on these wonderful shoes and I complimented her on the shoes and we started talking and then certain things started to happen. Like once she had entered my boundary is my personal space. Everyone has a 3-foot radius of personal space. You'll see it when people in line, like they just automatically stay within a certain boundary. And there are some people who don't really respect personal boundaries. Well, she stepped into my boundary. And I was like, oh. Now, an average dude would have missed that. Women do not get anywhere near you unless they like you. They don't get in your face. They don't get close to you. If she does not like you, she ain't getting anywhere near you physically. Just ain't happening. Once again, she looked way better than I did, but because I had the game, I had that verbiage, I actually knew the shoes she had on because of my storage auction background and buying units, and I knew what they went for. I even knew what year they were, and she was so impressed that I knew so much about fashion. Now, message. I bought a unit that had those shoes in it and made a lot of money years before, but I kept that knowledge, which helped me in the future. Do something, be something, become something, get yourself some experience data points, because you never know when something you did 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago can help you some point in the future. And this is why I get on you guys about stop sitting down, stop waiting. If you saw my video the other day where I was talking about red pill rage, this will make it worse. Sitting, stewing, commiserating with other people who are in the same boat and just whining. I went through a process. I was married, got divorced, lost everything. You know who did that? Not women, a woman. One woman did that. One. And for about 2-3 years, I was scarred. Then one day and I still dealt with women because it was that one woman. It wasn't every woman. It wasn't every other woman. It was just that one woman that did that. And another reason that I have the ability to compartmentalize is I want you to catalog all of your relationships. Go back and was this a good relationship? Was this just like a friendship where we actually had sex? Was this a bad relationship? And in my life, in my 52 years on this planet, I've had 2 really bad relationships. 2. It wasn't a trend. They were many years apart. My ex-wife and the other person who's actually upcoming. Those are my 2 worst relationships in life. 2. And there are some of you who are allowing that 1 or 2 really bad relationships to color your whole spectrum for the rest of your life. Now, I'm going here and explaining how this can mess you up, because if you come at a woman with hate, they're going to feel it. They may not know exactly what it is, but they're going to feel it. You can only hide that for so long. And I've seen these terms of, grudge sex, hate sex. It's like this current group of men doesn't know how to romance a woman, to woo a woman, to talk to a woman. They just don't have it. And that isn't really bad. But the thing is, many of you are angry because you don't have these skills. And more than likely, the reason you don't have these skills is because of one woman, your mother. See, I grew up in this era. Didn't have a father in the home. I had a grandmother that kind of acted like the male Figaro. She taught me to read. My grandmother acted like the mother, and my mother acted like my father. She was distant and all this other stuff. But I had something that many of you guys just don't have. I had access to a lot of men who were married, who had good family lives, who were respected. So I got to see this. And many of you are living in neighborhoods and situations. You don't even see this. You just see a lot of guys who are in your situation, which is sad and unfortunate. But when you start to radiate appreciation, because this is the thing. Remember when I said you treat a pretty girl like a person? You meet a dude, you hit it off. You ain't hugging this dude. You might give him a little dap. You might, the A-frame hug. And y'all are close and y'all share. Treat her like that. That's going to mess with her because she doesn't want to be treated like a dude. She wants to be treated like a woman. And by you treating her like a dude, being very friendly, being, cool, it's going to mess her up. And it's going to drop her out of her pretty state, which is everybody wants me, everybody's after me. I actually had a chick tell me this. She's like, I am pretty enough where I don't have to do the things that you want to do. And she was dating other people and everything. And she was on a date and she was texting me. She was on a date, but she was texting me. It was very interesting. And I had reached a point where I just, like, okay, you want to play these games? Let the games begin. So I sent her a picture of a girl that I had already had sex with in a very interesting position who was prettier than she was. Because when a woman tells you that I am such and such and such, that means that she's put you in this place. She's put herself here and she's put you here. Once again, I didn't get mad. I just like, oh, okay, that's how you're going to act. Because I will do that in a heartbeat, and it destroys them. Because most women only have their physical beauty and sex as their greatest attraction. You remove those two things, a lot of them can't. They can't compete. They can't do anything. They can't really be anything because they put so much time into their physical beauty and their sex that there's nothing there but a shell of a woman. So as a man, by treating her like a person, you take that off the table. And she's got to impress you. When you get to the point of an abundance mindset, you're going to start making determinations based upon what you want. I had a situation where I was dating this girl who was a strong 9. 8.5 strong 9, just depending on how she did her hair and whether she wore makeup or not. I actually thought she looked better without makeup. And then I was dealing with this girl who was a 5. 5 in the face. Let's say her body, because I don't just go with the whole thing. I break it down. A girl can be like a 3 in the face, but she can have a 9 body. I don't care. I'm hitting that. I'm hitting that. If she has a good personality, she's smart. There's more to my calculation when I say an 8, 9, or 10. So the 5 in the face and an 8 in the body. This girl was so nice. She was the kind of girl after sex, she'd go get a hot rag and clean you up. She was that type of chick. And then the other one, the 8, 9, she didn't have much of a personality. She clearly knew that her biggest thing going on in life was her looks. And I remember at dinner, I was like, you know what? If you were to take away your looks, you'd be one empty, basic ass person. And I was like, you know what? I need more than that in my life. Check. Paid the bill and bounced and left her where she was because we came in 2 separate cars. And this was before I started to implement my let's go together policy. And just left her there. And people at other tables heard what I said. Then I met up with the 5 who was just like, what are you doing? I'm just sitting at home. I'm on my way. Okay. Cooperation. 3 weeks later, I hear from the 9. I just don't appreciate you leaving me like that. 3 weeks later, she's calling me. Once again, if a chick is feeling you, it may take her a week, it may take her 2, 3, 4. She gonna reach out if she's feeling you. If she ain't feeling you, she'll never reach out. And I was like, so why are you calling me? Because at this point, I had everything on my plate. I had 3 in rotation. I really didn't need her. And see, this is where you want to be, because when you're living an abundant life, you don't tolerate silly stuff. And we were going on and on and on. And I was acting like I was bored. I was really bored. I was like, look, unless you're going to say something significant, we just need to end this conversation. And she's like, I thought you liked me. game flipped. She realized that I wasn't going to try to please her, but she liked me, so she started to please me. Her attitude changed. The cooperation came into play. Treat them like people. Be kind, be decent. Once again, treat her like a dude, like, dude you met, you vibe good. Treat her like that. Give her that dude energy. It's going to mess her up. So that's what you do when they're pretty. Let me know your comments, your thoughts. Also, to the red pillars and the MGTOW, I'm going to delete your hateful comments because many of you are lost and many of you will remain lost. And many of you keep listening to certain dating advice. You're going to go to jail. And this isn't about a mode 1 thing. This is about deceit and deception. Once again, they still got the upper hand in that situation. So go ahead, keep lying to these chicks. Please do. And then when you get your bunkmate named Shank, we'll see how that goes. But anyway, let me know how you feel. I'll talk to you guys later.